What's up? No Nothings Podcast. I'm Mike.
I'm Ray. Welcome in. Y'all forgive me. I'm a little congested today. I can't kick these allergies, man. They getting you at all?
I stay pretty medicated when it comes to allergies. I'm constantly doing this stuff up my nose every day. But like you said, it gets better.
And then you forget about it.
And I forget.
I'll be on a regimen of taking Zyrtec every day, and then I'll just be fine. I'll feel normal. And then I won't take it, and now I'm like this. I mean, I feel like I've just been rolling in a hay bale.
Oh, my gosh.
Eyes are puffy like I've been smoking weed for 3 days. But
Have you been? No.
a little bit, but not for 3 days straight. So we'll soldier through, though.
Yeah.
Did you hear Madonna came out as gay at 65?
You're kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Breaking
that doesn't surprise
Breaking
me at
news
all.
from TMZ on my way over here. I got an update.
Isn't she just more bi than anything? No, don't. Now she's stepping fully gay. No more men.
I think it seems like it's for attention. Who knows? Who am I to say who loves what? But she took some panties. And Madonna's, seems like she's trying to stay relevant. She took some panties and held them up. She's like, if I miss this shot, I'm gay. And she shot her panties at the wastebasket and just missed it by 10 feet on purpose. And she was like, oh, well. And then ended the clip.
Did somebody tell her that that's not really the shock bang value that we get anymore because nobody cares anymore?
Yeah, nobody cares. You have to come out. You have to at least be trans. You can't just be regular gay.
The next one is you're not. It's got to be something more wild. There's got to be another step. The trans thing, we get it. We're done with that. That's fine. Y'all do what you want. There's got to be another thing now. It's like I'm in love with my car.
Well, yeah,
I'm building a garage in my bedroom.
They've got whole shows around that.
Oh,
have you seen it?
Are you talking about the one where people are like their kink is like eating?
No, I'm talking about the one where the guy's kink was literally he was in love with his car and he was like,
oh yeah, I saw that. That's a while ago.
I guess you jam your wiener in the muffler and
you better
get busy.
You better let it cool down a little bit.
You have to have a tin can downstairs to fit in that muffler and make it feel snug.
I saw one where somebody liked eating they just couldn't stop eating
drywall.
That was one, and then there were the dryer sheets. They loved it got them off the dryer sheet. They put the dryer sheet in their mouth, and whatever that chemical is in the dryer sheet would kind of make their tongue and their mouth all electrifying feeling.
I'm no doctor, but that can't be good, right?
It's terrible for you. I think they took him to a doctor.
That would fuck the inside of your stomach up.
Oh my gosh, I don't know. It's just people just get hooked on certain things, and it's kind of like an old Buddhist thing where you start a groove in something, and then the groove gets deeper and deeper, and it can be a good groove or it can be a bad groove, and then it's hard to get out of it.
I'm trying to think if I have anything like that. Obviously, I like music and I like sports, but I don't think I take it to. Those are the two things I probably love the most: football and music. But I don't think I take it to any kind of weird level where
I like alcohol a lot, but I've gone for bouts where I don't drink at all.
Are you in love with alcohol? Do you want to have sex with that Jim Beam vanilla?
No. Well, the Jim Beam vanilla is good.
I've heard it's pretty sweet.
It's really sweet. It goes down like candy to me. And
I've got me a Sonic peach slushie. It's sugar free.
They make them sugar free?
Oh yeah, if you get the peach, and peach is my favorite soda. Or
just the peach is sugar free?
Mm-hmm. That's my favorite. Any kind of beverages, peach or orange.
Speaking of football, tell us about your LSU game you went to yesterday.
Man, I had fun.
Tennessee.
Had a good time, but God, the Tigers looked so bad. Got to live the sweet life, and a friend of mine gave me a suite for the day, so that was cool, and didn't have to fight traffic or
he
parking.
Wasn't even there.
No. That's why I got his passes.
Oh, nice.
He wasn't there. He just left his passes under somewhere for me. I can't tell anyone in case so they don't go steal them. So.
He left them under 11th and 34th Street.
So I went in the suite and had some Nathan's hot dogs and some boiled shrimp and a couple bottles of water and got to watch the LSU Tigers, and that was fun. But that's the first time I think I've actually been to a football game in Tiger Stadium where the Tigers lost. I've been about 25 times.
And I said
I've never been when they lost though.
I said that was it as loud as it sounded on my television?
So fucking loud. It was deafening.
Dude, people were screaming.
You know what I got really tired of hearing though?
What?
Goddamn Rocky Top. if I heard Rocky Top one more time. So every time Tennessee does something good, the band strikes up into Rocky Top.
Thank you.
And all those hillbillies start singing, good old Rocky Top, Tennessee. And you know how many good things Tennessee did yesterday. So it started to feel like a fucking Tennessee home game. I was like, this is ludicrous.
There were a lot of Tennessee people there, it seemed like, in the stands.
Oh,
More than normal of a home game with a team coming in.
It was big. Like it was big SEC environment. It was sold out, because Tennessee right now is undefeated. They're on like a 6-game winning streak. So yeah, they had Vol fans aplenty. It was a good, 12,000 Tennessee fans. But if you think about it, if there's 12,000 people that have something to cheer for and 88,000 who have nothing to cheer for, they were just overwhelming us. It felt like there were 3 million Tennessee fans and 4 LSU fans. That's what it felt. Because we could just LSU fans could just sit in stunned, drunk silence and just sit there,
I told you should have wore one of our shirts and went out on the field.
I know, man.
Nobody would have known what the shirt meant, though.
But somebody might have Googled it.
They might have.
Yeah, you sent me that when I was already there, and I didn't have a Know Nothing shirt.
I didn't know you were living it up in the big time, though, up there. You'd have to make your way down to the field. I don't think you would have made it.
I'd had an elevator down to the field and then see if I could get some access to the – but that one guy got access 2 weeks ago, so if he could get on the field, anybody could get on the field. But, yeah, man, I had a good time. It was a long day because I got up at like 5 in the morning, drove down for the game, and then drove back so I could watch Alabama on TV.
Don't you love getting up early and driving?
I love getting up early to start my day because my day feels so long.
I love getting up early. I get up at 5:45.
So by 7 or 8 o'clock at night, I feel like, man, I've had a really long day.
I still stay up late though.
I still stay up till 10.
Yeah,
what time do you go to bed?
God, like 11.
Yeah, I'm 10.
But it just depends. Some nights it's like but like if we're watching something and I want to finish it, I'll stay up and finish it and then crash. And the thing is I get great sleep now.
Oh, man, I sleep like a baby. I always have.
I used to never get any good sleep. I guess I'm just really happy right now in life.
Bro, I'm peaceful.
Yeah.
I'm kind of zen, and I just go to bed. And I've been that way even when shit's not going my way. Like,
how is all of this at night when you're trying to sleep?
Oh, it sucks when it's like this, but I'll
take a Benadryl.
I'll overdose. I'll take Benadryl or Zyrtec, something that knocks me out. But when I go to bed, I'll tell my wife, all right, good night, I love you. That, I go to bed. I'm telling you, if she'll come in like 5 minutes later, turn the light on, I'm already like drooling down the side of my cheek. When I get ready to go to bed, I'm going to bed. Like, I don't have to like my wife she can sit there for like an hour. She'll still be awake.
I have a book that I read that if I do lay down and I can't sleep, I have a book on my Kindle, Neil deGrasse Tyson, Astrophysics for People in a Hurry.
Although that book would be so interesting, it would make me tired. I already know.
Well, it just if you lay down and you start reading about astrophysics, the way he talks about it's very interesting, but it knocks me out. I've read it twice. It's my go-to book just to lay down and read.
Yeah.
Because I'll be reading and I'll go like this. I'll have it and I'll be holding it above me and I'll go, and I sometimes they drop it on my face like, time to go.
Oh, yeah, I've been there.
That's when you know when to set it down and go to sleep.
The books I read, I usually get so interested in them that I can't stop reading them. So I'm just like, oh.
Well, I read a couple of books at once. So
oh, really? I can't do that.
Well, you got to read different ones.
Different subject matter.
You got to read your fiction book, like your action book.
Yeah.
You got to read that one, and then you read your biography book about somebody that you like, and then I have one that I read to sleep, which is it's been for 4 years. I've read like 3 pages a night for 4 years.
You should be getting pretty up on astrophysics.
I've been through it twice.
So you're pretty up on astrophysics.
I can't remember any of it.
Yeah,
because I'm already going to sleep. And
I think it's above my pay grade because I'll sit there and I'll watch a whole documentary on space or something, and I'll be so interested, and but I'll probably pull 30 seconds out of it because it's so interesting to me. But I'm like, at some point, it starts losing me.
You have to the thing is, I am not even into astrophysics or any of that. I got the book to read it because I thought it would be interesting because I saw him talking about it on a podcast.
And it is interesting. It's super interesting.
Super interesting. But when you're tired and it's 11 o'clock at night, you read 3 pages and you're done. And then you can't remember any of it. You just 3 pages at a time. I've retained some of it.
Probably when you go to sleep, though, but it rolls around your head. You can have some interesting dreams. You ever have interesting dreams because of it?
No. It's not that interesting.
Yeah.
No, it's just I've never had any dreams about it. It really does just kind of knock me out.
I could totally see that. So what's the story on us going to the moon now? The new guys.
I haven't read anything on that, but I will confirm that the DART mission was a success and it knocked that thing off course.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
But did you see the video of it?
Yes.
Was that a real video or a recreation? That looked like a cartoon, bro.
I just don't understand how it could be real time like that. And everybody's like, yeah.
The way they celebrated too was so. They were like,
they shot it off a year ago.
We did it.
And then
Hey.
Yeah. And then these people, I was telling you, I was like, there's like a general in the room. No, we did it. There's like a general in the room. And then there's a bunch of people that I would look at and be like, these people aren't NASA.
That's what I was thinking. They look like actors.
They look like actors to me.
Are we just too far down the wormhole?
We're too far. I don't believe anything anymore.
Or we just think everything's a lie?
It really did look like a wall-eyed camera, and they dropped it slow motion onto like a gravel, like rock.
Yeah, I know, but that's probably what it would look like if you ran into an asteroid, right?
Who knows? We don't know. You don't know what it would look like. Anyway, so I was saying the funny thing is you knock that off course. There's some civilization way off that we don't know about that have the ability to track every asteroid that's in the galaxy or whatever in the universe that's coming at them, and they already checked that one off the list. So like 500,000 years from now, that one they're like, oh shit, this one's gonna hit our planet.
Yeah,
we did that. And then intergalactic war.
When was it on course to hit us?
It wasn't going to hit us, is what they said. This was just a one that was.
We just wanted to see if we could do it.
And it was a binary asteroid. So there was a bigger asteroid and a smaller one, and the smaller one was going around the bigger one, and we hit the smaller one, which is the faster moving one. It just really, I really have a hard time thinking somebody's a whiz on that. But they shot it off.
But somebody is
last year.
Well, it takes that long, right?
Through space.
Yeah.
And hit that asteroid. I just don't. I have a hard time believing we can do that, and yet we're still trying to get people to the moon.
We're still trying to do things here on Earth, like
we don't even
like build better bridges and train rail system and stuff. Like,
oh my gosh,
we don't even have a great rail system yet. We can do that.
I know in Louisiana and Mississippi, it's very hard for them to connect a road to a bridge without having your everything you got in your car like fall off everywhere when you hit it.
Yeah.
I mean, every bridge and road you go over, it's like, even on the interstate.
That's true.
And yet we can shoot something off and hit an asteroid.
Are we providing more resources to the asteroid shooting, you think? Is that a possibility?
I don't know. Maybe they got good directors.
Or maybe smarter people are in that field.
Maybe. And maybe.
I would think the smartest people are in that field, right? Like rocket scientists?
Instead of it just going to the lowest bidder to make a road that connects to a bridge. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, like you've got real super geniuses in that one room, like,
and then this one guy's like, I can do it for $20,000 less.
It's a bunch
on
of
the road.
It's a bunch of Sheldon Coopers that money means nothing. They just want to figure this shit out, right?
Right.
Like,
well, if you were a billionaire, wouldn't you, like all the other billionaires, be like, I want to blast off and look at the Earth from space. Let's make that happen. How much does it cost? I got it. Don't worry about it.
I would, but why aren't they? Well, they are. I guess
They do. We got Elon Musk and we got Bezos,
and you got the Virgin guy.
Oh yeah, I always forget about him. Who's the Virgin Galactic, the Virgin guy?
Oh gosh,
what's his name? I can't remember his name.
How are we forgetting that?
I'm not up on all the billionaires. I'm kind of upset about that.
Richard Branson. I got it before I Googled
He always sounds like a Richard Branson. The name Richard Branson sounds like a playboy anyway. He's just like, I'm a billionaire. My name's Richard Branson. I'm the most interesting man in the world.
Well, he probably is a.
Take your chair and like kind of pull it off of. There you go. Yeah. Okay.
He probably is. I would think he's probably super interesting.
I'm pretty sure younger billionaires are interesting. The ones that are old and we don't know about.
But Richard Branson's not young. He had Virgin Records in like the 80s, right?
And Virgin, he had didn't he have like he had like a aviation company.
Still has it.
Is that still a thing? People still fly Virgin?
No, I think that went bankrupt. He has Virgin rockets though.
Yeah, that's something he does. Why do all the billionaires want to get off the planet? What are they not telling us?
They know something we don't know.
Yeah, and then
or something we do know. We just don't have the means to get off. I'd get off if I could, right? Like,
well, I watched Elysium the other day. Have you ever seen that with Matt Damon? It's like all the rich people leave and they're on like a big, huge, round, circular like space thing going around the Earth, and they leave all of us poor folks down here to toil and work in the dirt while they have like machines that like fix cancer and everything like in 2 minutes. And so, yeah, you need to watch that. That's really good.
That sounds awesome.
I think somebody pulled that.
Your bottle
from the
cap's
future.
about to fall off. Yeah, that'd be super cool.
At least it's like a big circle too. Like, so
If you were a
like,
billionaire, wouldn't you be
creates
trying to
gravity.
figure out all the shit you could do that no one else could do? Like, wouldn't that be part of the fun of being a billionaire? I mean, I'd be trying to help people, I think.
If I was a billionaire, I'd just have like a really badass car,
Well, obviously.
and then I would just do the same thing I do: go to the gym, ride my bike.
You think so? We all say that, but I don't think that's true.
Maybe it changes you. It's got to change you, right?
I don't think that's true.
I would
Like-
give a lot of it. I would help a lot of people. I would help a lot of people.
Me
around
too, but
the
I know
world.
that I would travel a lot. I know.
Oh yeah, I'd want to
any-
see things I never saw before.
If tomorrow I wanted to go to Paris, I'd just go.
You think you'd be super paranoid about it, about ending it all? You think like if you traveled to,
Excuse me.
If you travel to
Sorry,
like,
guys.
If you travel to like Milan or something or somewhere sketchy, or I don't know if Milan's sketchy. I have no idea. I'm an idiot. I don't know anything about the world stage. But
Yeah, I
like,
think Milan's nice.
like if you travel like somewhere, would you be worried about somebody like trying to kidnap you or just dying on the plane ride over? I had a dream.
I think if I had
I had a dream last night that I was sitting all the way in the back of a plane, and we took off, and the pilot screwed it up and landed it on the interstate.
But you made it?
We made it.
Yeah, I think if I had over, say, I don't know, $200 or $300 million, I would always have security. I'm gonna sneeze through this whole podcast, guys. So just deal with it. Bless me.
I'm gonna put together a reel where it's just him.
Yeah. Oh, that's gonna be pretty
The
funny.
whole time.
Yeah, just because I'm gonna sneeze 100 times.
Doing it the whole time.
I can feel it coming.
Oh.
Yeah, but I think over 300 million, I would have security at all times, wouldn't you?
Yes.
I'm not going around without somebody,
Oh no, I would totally have security with me at all times.
and that's not like a
That money.
weakness thing. That's just a protection.
Well, the
thing.
other thing about like if you read about these people that win the lottery, they win like $100 million and stuff. It becomes them separating themselves from even their families because it's never enough. Like you'll constantly read either A, they go buy a bunch of shit and they're broke in 2 years or a year because tax season rolls around.
No one that gets 100 million, you hear that. It's always the 1 to 10 million that go broke.
Well, it's just like you read all this stuff. Well, I mean, if you got $100 million, you can spend $100 million.
No way.
You don't think you could?
Impossible. There's no way you could spend $100 million without acquiring
Or
assets.
giving it away?
Without acquiring assets that are worth at least 60 or 70
Okay,
million.
$100 million is a lot of money that would just make you money to where you would never spend it all.
Yeah, even
Unless you were like, I want to buy an island, and it's like, oh, you've got a self-sufficient that island on your own. Then you have a small country, which is an island, and now you have a whole deficit bullshit and all that.
yeah, but your island's always going to be worth, say, $50 million.
Is it? Maybe there's an island racket game.
I would, dude. I would.
Hey, there's an island.
I would be
probably
willing
for
to
sale.
bet. I'd be willing to bet there's no islands that went down in value. Oh, didn't mean to throw that at you.
I can tell you there's one that did.
Valid point. But I bet when it gets sold, when the government takes control of it and resells it, I bet it sells for more than he bought it for.
Obviously.
So it increased in
They're
value.
like, look, it has great catacombs. There's all these great shackled catacombs down here.
Yeah, but
Plenty of space for maybe 1,000 people to live.
1,000 kids easily could fit down here.
1,000 small people fit in this hole that they did.
So, yeah, I would think the island always goes up. But let's say you just went house crazy and you bought a $9 million house in Vegas, an $8 million house in Miami, and a $6 million house in LA. Those are still,
You could always unload them.
that's still like having cash. So then if you're like, oh, I'm broke, I'm selling all my properties. Well, now you have $32 million again, right?
Right.
And then what do? Then you just, at some point, after about 8 or 10 million, you would have bought all the cars, all the clothes, all the jewelry, all the bullshit. That's you could run through 5 million, I think, pretty quick.
You could run through 5 million
Pretty quick.
if you made bad investments.
Yeah.
Me, I wouldn't make.
But even that,
I would live if I had $1 million. I would still have a job.
Well, $1 million for sure. That's like not really anything.
That just secures you if like I need to go to the doctor.
Yeah.
I just wrecked my car. I need to pay. Like you're kind of self-insured at $1 million, right?
Yeah, it's just an insurance policy. $1 million, you can. I mean, $1 million, you're talking about 10, 15 years of work. Like it's not like that much money anymore.
Hey, if there's any like millionaires that are like 1 to 5 million, and you want to like leave some comments, which I doubt there's any of those watching, but like
there might be millionaires have to watch
we sound
podcasts.
like fucking idiots. I'm sure. I just know what I'd do with my money.
Yeah, I would. I think you could run through 1 to 5, and then after that, it's a problem to get rid of it. It's just like remember Brewster's Million, that movie?
Yeah.
And he had to spend $20,000 a day every day for a month.
Yeah.
And it was super easy for him for like 10 or 12 days.
And then it's like, what do I buy?
And then he was like, it became a chore. Remember, he's just like, oh my God.
Have to start buying bigger houses to put more shit
I got to get up and spend $20,000. I don't know what, like, he just was like, I think he rented like a baseball stadium and like he had a party there. You're like, okay, well, I did that. And then the next day, like, oh, I'm going to rent a Lamborghini, and you drive that.
Well, that's $5,000. That's
yeah,
nothing.
You're like, still got to, well, hell, I can only drive for a little while because I got to go figure out how to spend $15,000. And remember, he could have no assets. That was the thing. Right. He had to spend $1 million in a month and have no assets. And he barely slid in and made it by the end. And that's probably, that move is probably pretty true. Like, if you had $100 million, they're like, all right, Mike, you can have $1 billion, but you have to spend this $100 million in a year and have no assets. You couldn't do it.
Oh man, that'd be rough.
It'd be let's see here, how much you'd have to spend a day.
I don't know if that calculator goes to 100 million.
It doesn't, but I can do this. You'd have to spend $273,972 a day, every day without a day off, and not have
no way,
and not have assets.
There's no way.
So you couldn't buy cars, jewelry, homes, property, real estate, boats, yachts, anything. You can't buy any of that. Companies, businesses, none of that.
What else is there to buy? Food?
Yeah,
clothing.
You could rent stuff and buy
rent stuff, buy stuff. Anyway, you should rent stuff anyway. Well, once you make it to 10 million, 15 million, 20 million, you just buy it.
Yeah,
park it.
Yeah, who cares? But $273,000 a day. You think you could? I couldn't do that. I could maybe.
That's ridiculous.
I could maybe do it for 3 days.
No. I don't think you can make it through the first day.
It'd be so hard to do.
How in the world, especially here? Maybe you'd have to go to like L.A. or like
you'd have
to go to like a foreign, like Mumbai, and like be like, I'm gonna fly all your friends to Mumbai. Everybody rents that day.
A scooter or something.
Yeah. Everybody rents a Lamborghini that day, and then I would like to know what the totals is on like, I'm gonna take 15 of my friends to Mumbai first class. Rent Lamborghinis, drive Lamborghinis around, and get them all hotel rooms. Like, what would that be? It'd probably be $50,000.
Probably something like that. Yeah, maybe 90.
It'd be rough. We'd have to ask Dan Bilzerian how much he spends all the time flying around.
He spends a lot.
I read a funny story.
Did he get all his money from people?
No, he got all of his. He got his.
I mean, did he inherit it?
No, he was a high stakes poker.
That's a true story.
That's a true story.
Because it seems like some of his is bullshit, right?
Well, he made a bunch. He made millions doing. He made somebody probably backed him, and he played poker. He played high stakes poker and won. And then he took that and he started businesses. Like he has a weed business, and he's making tons of money with that.
Yeah,
he was like the first guy years ago on social media that was like the Hugh Hefner of our time, where he's always had. But then I learned,
you know those women are paid though?
Then I learned that all those women are just trying to be like Instagram models themselves and get paid. For,
they're not interested in him.
They're not. They
don't
just
care.
But I think I don't know anything about him now. But
it could be Dan Bilzerian. It could be you. It could be Axl Rose. It could be Hugh Hefner. It could be Bob Dylan. They're gonna get in the photos.
But I do know that, like,
because he's paying them.
This guy that I read an article where this guy said that he ended up being security one night at one of his parties, and he was like, "It's true. This dude's doing. It's not fake. Like everything that you see, him flying around, the girls, all that stuff is all real."
See, now he has to have a ton of money, huh? Like, to keep that up every day.
Yeah. Well, he's got his own jet. He's got a place in Vegas, I think. He's got I always see him all overseas. They're all always in infinity pools. He's always got like 10 chicks. I think he's got like a girlfriend or something now because I always see this one girl. But I don't really like follow him, and I don't think like that kind of lifestyle is like if you can afford that lifestyle. I don't think that I'm the kind of person that would live like that anyway.
Oh shit, he's got $200 million.
Yeah. The dude's
he has boundless wealth.
boundless.
I thought it was going to be like 8 million, and I was going to say like, oh, this is it's not a charade.
It's crazy. Like the stuff, like he's the real deal.
How did he get $200 million?
Look it up. Look up where he got it. I think it came from playing cards.
You couldn't have got that much playing cards. Impossible.
Well, no, like he got it from playing like $1 million. Like,
well, he's
games.
the Instagram king. He's known as the Instagram king.
He is the Instagram king. That's what I was saying. Like he's the first Instagram dude that was like a huge influencer, big time. First guy, like a Hugh Hefner type.
Let's see. It's only been 13 years ago he started playing poker. Dude,
high stakes. But I'm telling you that
he finished in 180th place.
That weed company's probably makes him so much money. He doesn't have a bulldozer to shove it into the bank account.
How big's his weed company? Let's see. In 2013, he won $10.8 million in one night.
You don't think you could take $10.8 million?
In 2014, he won $50 million.
Say, that's crazy. See, there you go.
In 2016, he announced he'd run for president, which gave him a lot of attention. Although he later stopped this and endorsed Trump.
You got to remember, Trump did the same thing. He always said he was running for president all the time just to get hype. And then somebody came to him and was like, you need to run for president.
Seriously, it looks like all that money is from poker. Yeah. I think the weed company's just making him some, extra.
Well, now he's got the weed company. I'm sure it makes way more than he probably doesn't even play poker anymore.
Yeah, but you're not going to make more than $50 million.
He's got to be really good at poker.
You're not going to make more than $50 million a year with a weed company.
He also had bit parts in Hollywood movies where it was like, what's that movie with Wahlberg where they fly in and they get trapped? It's a true story on the mountain or whatever, and they come crashing off. They jump off the mountain or whatever. He's in that, and he actually paid to be in that. I think I heard.
So and his weed company's probably making him a couple million a year.
Lone survivor,
or $2 million. You're not making $50 million off a weed company. It's just not happening. You'd have to be doing revenues around.
If he's the grower, he probably is.
But Mike, you'd have to be doing revenue. Business. You'd have to be doing revenues $200-300 million to make 50.
Do you know that like if we wanted to start a weed growing business in Louisiana and grow weed, the government takes more than 50% of everything you make?
I didn't know that. I've got a friend who's in on the hemp side of it. He does all the legal cannabis and the gummies, and he has the production facility. They have the rights to actually grow the weed.
We're talking about the same place. I know this. I know the place. Yeah.
Manufactured.
Well, they're the only one in Louisiana, I think.
It's the only one. Yeah.
Yeah. How much does he make?
A lot.
But more than half goes to the government. But it still makes a lot.
A lot.
He's the only one here.
You can do.
You know him?
You can do 1,000.
Personally?
Yep. You can do 1,000% markup on like the gummies. They can make.
I know somebody that works there.
They make the gummies for like you make an edible for like 20 cents, I think he said, and they sell for like $3 a piece. Yeah. So think about that markup.
Well, it's got to be.
That's an $80 hamburger.
If you're getting taxed that much, that's $80 hamburger.
Well, I mean, it's equivalency. Like if you did the markup, equivalency, it'd actually be a. So it's about a 20-time markup. So it's like an $80 hamburger.
Isn't it also kind of sketchy because like the government could come in at any time and be like, "This is illegal"?
No, because it is legal.
It's not federally legal, is it?
Federally legal.
Medically.
No, federal.
How's that?
Because hemp is regulated different than marijuana.
Hemp doesn't have THC in it.
Yes, it does.
Oh.
So if you use what they do is extract it from the hemp. So the Delta 8 comes from hemp. Delta 9 comes from marijuana. It's the exact same high. But since hemp is legal, you can't stop people from selling any Delta 8 products.
I fail a drug test with that?
If it's for marijuana.
Oh, wow. So it doesn't... So, I don't like marijuana anyway.
But
we've had that discussion where I think I'm allergic
that's
to it.
That's the loophole around all... I think there's 28 states that can do the legalized hemp because they don't have any hemp regulations. They only have marijuana regulations. So... I think, and now they figured out. This is a pretty good story. The guy. I don't know if he wants me telling this story or not. So I'll just. I shouldn't.
No names.
We're gonna know the names because
Oh, don't.
Yeah, you're gonna know the names when I tell it. Because anyway, he met with a bunch of government officials, and they loved the products. That's all I'll say. I'll leave it there.
Hey, I'm waiting for there's been some states that mushrooms now are legal.
Yeah, how did mushrooms ever become illegal? That's the biggest question.
The weird, Louisiana has the most strictest laws against magic mushrooms than any other state in the country.
Years?
It's 10 years and a $5,000 fine to even possess one.
I'm glad they weren't around in the 90s because I had bags full.
It probably wasn't that bad in the 90s. It probably wasn't even that steep in the 90s.
I don't know.
I don't understand why something that grows out of cow shit and you eat it and you see funny colors makes you go to prison for 10 years.
Well, like I live on a ranch, so like if I go out and find a mushroom in my yard, or if I go to where the cow patties are and get one, it's illegal. I'm getting 10 years.
You get 10 years.
Like how's that? That's like nuts.
That's the minimum. That's if they want to throw you the minimum. You've got to get a lawyer to get the minimum.
How did free people let some of these laws get on the books?
I don't know. I also
I think is it in Texas you can't get blowjobs?
Are you serious?
Yeah, there's a state where it's still on the books that it's illegal to get blowjobs because they're trying to protect against homosexuality.
Really? What?
It's illegal for anyone to give a blowjob. And there's states where anal.
Wrong.
There's states where anal is illegal.
Well, I think that's it. Most states where that's illegal.
No.
Yeah.
Surely not. Not in our fun state.
Oh, it is.
Okay.
Louisiana's.
So here's the states where you can't have anal.
All right.
Florida, Georgia, Louisiana, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, North Carolina, Oklahoma, and South Carolina. Do not go to those states having anal.
Well, don't celebrate it if you do.
Is oral sex illegal? Let's see. Yeah, oral sex is illegal in 18 states. Here's the 18 states where you cannot get a blowjob or...
What the...
So, no oral sex in Alabama.
What?
Arizona, Florida, Idaho, Kansas, Louisiana, Massachusetts, Minnesota, Mississippi, Georgia, North and South Carolina, Oklahoma, Oregon, Rhode Island, Utah, Virginia, and Washington, D.C. Well, that's what
this is not right. This is a Mandela thing. We're not in the same. In the same reality that we grew up in.
That was the viral message.
There's no way.
That was the viral message. Now let's see if it's true. They're going to fact check it.
Okay.
They're going to fact check it. Let's see. Let's get the. That's what it. It's true that the laws exist and are on the books in those states. However, as of 2003, they now only exist as a legal and unconstitutional curiosity, as in they're not enforced. But they are still on the books. They haven't bothered to take them off the books. It's just strange that the fact that they got on the books in, say, 1884.
Oh, that's crazy.
Like, what fucking dude was going up saying, I've got a proposal. I'd like to propose no blowjobs.
I second that emotion. I second it.
And who were the simps that were like, yeah, she shouldn't have to do that?
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on?
This is ridiculous. No one should ever be doing that.
That's like, there was a time when like,
second that emotion.
You know that was dudes getting no pussy. It had to be.
Or back in the day when it was like, pretty much illegal to be gay.
Well, yeah.
Probably like, no, these guys
shouldn't
be getting blowjobs from ladies if we can't because we're gay.
Yeah, because we're gay. We're gay and it's illegal to be gay. So there's no way the guys that aren't gay should be getting blowjobs that we could be getting from dudes.
That's probably exactly where it stems from, I'm telling you.
Well, we know I know the marijuana rules were because
it's always the people that it's always the people that aren't getting any trying to stop people from getting some.
Of course.
Every time you see somebody that like it's like the last person you want to fuck anyway.
Who's always the girl at the bar? I don't know if it's the same. I'm sure it's the same. The girl, You got the couple fine girls and everybody's about to go home. And who's the one person coming over being a party pooper, a Debbie Downer? It's always some fucking troglodyte.
Right.
Every time.
It's always the non-party.
Yeah.
The non-partier that they dragged along.
And she wants to come kill everyone else's good vibe.
We have to go home.
No, we're going home. You're drunk, Cindy. We're going home.
But this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're going home. Nobody's hit on me tonight.
And you know, and the guys, the men that were putting the blowjob, no anal, no blowjobs, and no marijuana rules on the books. What a bunch of no fun. And I guarantee they lived in dry counties.
Guaranteed they had really, really cold wives.
That's what, hell.
Their wives were like this. Their wives are like, listen, when you go in today, you're gonna say that there's no blowjobs. It should be illegal. It should be and anal. I don't want anal either. Anal should be illegal too. Make that happen because that's never happening with us. So nobody else should ever make that happen. He's like, yes, dear. I'll go in and I'll put in the motion for no blowjobs.
I think it's worth looking into. I might go home tonight and look into
how to look that up.
How did that become law? Who proposed the law? What does the legislation look like?
I just figured it out. It's the wives. The wives that those dudes, they were not given blowjobs or anal. And they were like, well, nobody else should get that shit either because I'm not getting it at home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. They're fucking party killers.
Yeah.
But hell, you couldn't. You remember in the 80s and 90s, you couldn't even buy beer in Ruston? Yeah. That was only 30 years ago.
And you could be 18. And even 18, like back then, you could be 18.
You could be 15.
When? When was it 15?
Well, I'm saying the law, when I was growing up, the law was 18 when I turned 18. But if you were over 5'9", that was good enough. Like,
right.
Like nobody gave a shit. Yeah. Like, the dude drove here.
I was 15. I just buy cigarettes. And I looked 15. I did not look 18, and nobody cared.
Yeah.
And like, let me get some Marlboro lights. And they were like, you can't even pronounce it. You're good to go.
They started carrying probably just after you were 15. Like, it's probably couple years, 2 years later, that's when everybody really started caring about all that stuff.
Well, I think they probably started sending out agents
But yeah, everybody. It was like pretty well known. I mean, you could buy beer as soon as you could drive a car.
Well, what Louisiana did was back in the 90s, it was 18 to buy alcohol here. And in every other state, it was 21. And the government told Louisiana,
no more money for roads.
Don't change your law to sell to 21-year-olds. There's no more government money for roads. So for like 2 years, roads went to shit. And and that's when I first started driving. And you would be driving down a road, and there would be signs that they put out that said substandard road. Do you remember that?
Yeah. They actually changed.
There were no berms on the roads. The roads were just like eroding off into the side of the road.
It was 18 for me, and it was 21 when you turned 18.
Yeah.
It was 18 for me, and then when I was 19 and a half, it changed to.
What was the first thing you ever drank?
Oh, God.
You got drunk with?
The first time I remember vividly the first time I ever drank was at 4th grade.
Whoa, rewind. 4th grade.
We grew up fast in Bienville Parish. We grew up fast. I grew up
4th grade.
Mike, if I told you some stories, you wouldn't. I won't tell a lot of my stories from my youth because they don't seem real. They really don't. Like,
well, we'll do that off.
A lot of the stories from my youth do not seem real. People are like, that's not how that guy's full of shit. I'm not. I'm telling the truth, but. I was wild. Anyway, I was wide open. Anyway, so it's 4th grade. We were at a sleepover having a camp out, and there was a couple of 6th graders there because my friend had an older brother, and they had brought an 8-pack of the ponies, the little
ponies.
Yes. So he's like, who wants a pony? And he even knew to call it a pony.
And you were in the 4th grade, so the pony fit perfect in your hand like a beer.
Well, so I got it. I'll never forget. So he was a 6th grader. So he was like, he was probably 12. I think he'd failed a grade. So he was 3 years older than me. So anyway, he's like, so I've got my pony, and I'm like, I take a look. And he's like, he goes, show you how to drink a beer, kid. And he stands up. Well, first he stands up by the fence and he pees first. So he pees.
Oh, of course.
He made it so epic. He stays pee. Then finished peeing, twist the top on the pony. He downed that sucker. And he threw it against a fence post. Boom! And he turns around and he goes, that's how you drink a beer. And I was like, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Dude's your hero.
So I drank a pony that night, but I don't know if I got drunk or if I played drunk or whatever. But I don't think I was drunk. But so then in 5th grade, we'd got this guy that and he wasn't real cool. He wasn't really like in the clique. But so we got him in the bathroom. He was like, we were having a sleepover, and he was like, or a camp out as we call them. Once you got past 3rd grade, we called them camp outs. Yeah, so we're not having a sleepover. So anyway, we got him in the bathroom, and he was like, and we were talking about the camp out. And he's like, oh, I want to come to y'all's camp out. And we were like, yeah, I bet you do. And we're like, nah, man. So we just keep talking and peeing and doing whatever it is kids do in elementary. And then my buddy was like, it was at his house. He's like, tell you what. He's like, your dad got any cigars? He's like,
oh, no.
He's like, yeah. He's like, your dad got any liquor? He's like, yeah. He's like, you bring some liquor and cigars, you can come to the camp out. He's like, okay. And it was like, this was like Tuesday, so it was on a Friday. So he steals like a box of his dad's cigars.
Oh my gosh!
He steals a Gatorade bottle and fills it up with vodka, and he steals 2 Coors Lights and he puts them in his lunchbox, and brings them to and brings them to 5th grade. Well, he starts showing everybody. He's showing everybody. Oh yeah, look at this shit. Like he's like, I've got booze. I'm going to the camp out with we were the cool kids,
big boys.
We're all the same grade, but every grade's clicked up. And we were like we were like the elementary crew. Right. And anyway, he was going to get to say, he was showing everybody, yeah, I brought this liquor and I'm going to the camp. So anyway, of course he tells a narc, this fucking nerd, Brad.
Nerd.
So Brad goes and tells the teacher, and the teacher has to get up in class. She's like, she walks back. So she walks back with class, and then I'll never forget, she opens the lunchbox. She walks back through the class with a Gatorade bottle of vodka, 2 Coors Lights, like on a box of cigars, and she's walking up. So he goes to the principal. Of course, he tells the principal, he's like, well, Ray and Jared told me to bring it. Oh, dude, I never rolled on somebody. So I was like, I don't know what this fucking guy's talking about. I've never even seen a beer. I was like, he's like, you did tell me. We were all like in the office. I was like, we didn't tell. I don't know what he's talking about. And it was like, yeah, man. Like, they're like, well,
you're on your own, bro.
So the principal was like, well, look, that's just hearsay or whatever. So we, y'all go back to class. So he sent us back.
Loose lips, bro. Loose lips.
He sent us back to class. Obviously, that kid got suspended for like a week. You can't bring booze into the elementary, and cigars to boot.
How bad do you think his dad beat him?
Oh, he must have beat his ass. I don't know. I never spoke to him. Well, when he would come back to school and he would be.
You never spoke to him ever again?
I mean, not really.
Never again?
I mean, I spoke to him, but when he came back to school, I never spoke to him to begin with. Really, he wasn't in our clique.
Right.
He was, so right. When he came back from school with suspension, though, he's like, y'all know y'all told me to bring, and I'd just be like, I got Ricky on my team. I would just act like he wasn't talking. Hey, fuck it. You're on your own. All I know is I didn't bring any vodka to school.
Right.
I didn't bring any cigars.
Well, the number one rule.
Yeah.
What are you telling everybody for?
So,
you moron.
We were talking about the first time I got drunk. So we didn't get drunk on that night. So sometime later that year, though, we were able to score enough booze. I think somewhere later in 5th grade, I think we were able to have the camp out. We were able to score enough booze, 2 or 3 beers or so. Then after that, it was on. But in junior high, I guess the statute of limitations has passed. It's been 35 years or 40 years. So in junior high, this is what I did, Mike. This is what I did every day. Every day. Oh, not on Saturdays, Monday through Sunday. So I would get up about 11:30 or midnight, and I would sneak out. And my neighborhood was huge. So I went to all the people that had outdoor refrigerators, and I found what dads had beer.
Yeah.
Every night I'd sneak out and I'd go steal like 4 beers from this house. The next day I'd go like a half mile over, steal 4 beers. So by the time I come back around to this house to take 4 beers, it's been like a month. I had like 30 houses go. So I would sneak into their carport. They got like that. A lot of people have the outdoor.
Let me stop you right there for a second. Do you think Louisiana is the capital of the outdoor refrigerator beer holder? It really is.
It's got to be us.
It's got to be us or who? Florida?
Wisconsin. They drink a lot. Ohio.
I think they do in Florida too. But like the outdoor refrigerator beer holder in your garage.
So my entire junior high, 730 days, I went out every single night till like 5 in the morning. I would take beers from the neighbors. I would fucking rage and listen to AC/DC and Sabbath and Slayer until 4 or 5 in the morning. Then I'd go get me 2-3 hours of sleep before school. I did this every single day. It was bedlam.
No wonder you don't drink anymore. You got it all in early.
Bro, my junior high life was a movie. Like a full... One night, I found this... I went to the house to get my beers, and I was like, holy shit. I told my kind of friend that would sneak out with me most of the time. I was like, holy shit, man. It's like, this dude's got a party ball. He's like, oh, yeah. So we calendared it. So, like, we're going to do... It's like, that Saturday... It's coming up on July 4th or New Year's Eve. No, July 4th because it was warm outside. So it's coming up on July 4th. So on July 4th night, when we snuck out, we went to his house, got the party ball. We had gotten so bold, Mike. I got the guy's party ball out of his thing, and I took it to his pool and set it in between 2 reclining chairs. And me and my buddy sat by his pool and drank this man's party ball for like 6 hours.
No way.
I swear on my life.
Where were they?
In the house.
They were in the house?
It's like 3 a.m. We just sat by the pool, party ball between us. We're talking kind of low. And we just gas up our cup, sit in the recliner. And so we're smoking cigarettes and drinking this dude's party ball until...
Man, you're ballsy.
Oh.
You were ballsy.
You needed a wheelbarrow to tote mine around. That's why. Look, I've told you. I'm telling 2 stories here. That's why I said I can't tell people like all these stories because it just seems like lies. It was so crazy in 1988, 89, 90.
That's crazy.
It was so crazy that the stories that I lived and did and I know happened, when I just think them to myself, I'm like, you're lying. I feel like I'm
write all those down.
Dude, it is a magical. It'd be a magical book. It was, but so we were so bold. I think about it now, like I was like 12 probably. So July 4th of 89 or 90. So I'm 13 because it was 7th, going from 7th to 8th. So I'm 13 years old, just made 13. I'm sitting by a guy's pool at 3 a.m, drinking his party ball, smoking, and I'm just putting my cigarettes out on and just leave them all there. Oh, but it gets better.
Who the hell? Like that never came up ever. There's cigarettes everywhere.
Oh,
you never
did it come up? Oh, wait. Let me tell you how I exited when I decided it was time to go home. I took a pack of Black Cats, like a 500 pack.
No way.
And I put them on his diving board and lit them and ran home. So we woke them up. They woke up.
How far away were you from this house that you lived?
A mile.
A mile?
Maybe.
Did they know who you were?
No. Nobody knew who I was till the cops came to get me after when it all came to an end.
The cops came?
Oh yeah, I was in New Orleans and the cops came to my house in Ruston to get me for like 100 charges. I'll stop there.
Oh my god, dude!
I'll stop there.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So.
Oh my god!
When the cops got me, everybody knew. There came a point when everybody knew, the whole neighborhood knew, hey, we're being terrorized every night. Like
by Ray.
Because sometimes I would take. I'm not going any further, but like I'm not going any further. But like but they were like, the whole neighborhood had gotten to the point where they're like, we're being terrorized every night. So at night there would be 2 or 3 cops that would patrol the neighborhood all night, and I'd just be running around. So we got what are those things called? Where you can listen to the police?
Yeah,
scanners. So we got scanners. We'd be in the neighborhood drinking people's beer.
Where did you get a scanner?
Radio Shack.
Oh my god.
We got a scanner,
dude.
Listen, we were smart.
Like a hacker.
We were smart, bro. So we would be like, we'd just sit in the middle of the road, like drinking, and you'd hear on the scanner, got 2 males, 5'9" and 5'10" approximately. White males. They're standing on Maple Street, and we're going to get them right now. We're turning in, and we'd run to like Oak Street, and they'd be like, oh, they're not here. We'd be listening. So they'd be like, hey, why don't you go around this street, and we'll go around this street, and then we'll see if we'll lock them in. They've got to come through these woods. We'd be like, whoop. We played Tom and Jerry with these fuckers for...
Dude, that is amazing.
6 months. We played Tom and Jerry for 6 months.
That's amazing.
At one time they had about 50 dads had got together and like got all their vehicles.
All the beer dads.
They got all their vehicles at like midnight, and they're roaming around with the police in tow. They're just all taking separate streets, like spotlights out and shit. We're like laying in culverts with those standard. But
that's amazing.
But I had bragged of my exploits a little bit to this kid named Charles, and the police came to Charles's house while I was in New Orleans, and he was like, "Hey, have you done all this?" and showed us all the stuff that we had done.
No.
And he was like, "No." And they were like, "You're going to be in big trouble." He's like, "I didn't do it, but I know who did." So anyway, that's how.
Oh man.
That's how I did it. That's how my run of.
Now my drinking story sounds terrible.
I didn't get to any good ones. I didn't even get to any good ones.
Wow.
It was
no. Well, the first thing I ever.
The '80s were a wild time, folks.
Don't
Don't relive them.
The first thing I ever drank was Boone's Farm.
That'll do it.
And we were like, I was in a band when I was 15. You know, we went to Minden, and Jonathan in the band was 18, so he could buy it. So we went to the liquor store. And I was like, bought me Boone's Farm, and I drank a bottle of Boone's Farm and got drunk.
Why does every kid that drink Boone Farm always drink the whole bottle? Everyone does that.
Well, that's
and then they throw up
that's what you had. I didn't throw up.
You didn't throw up Strawberry Hill everywhere?
No, it was Strawberry Hill. Yeah.
Well, that's the most popular one.
Yeah, well, it's cheap, and it's like
cheap. Like there was like $1.99.
Yeah, $1.99 for a bottle of Boone's Farm.
Did you Did you ever get a Mad Dog drunk?
Oh yeah,
that's the worst drunk.
The thing that we also drank when we were underage was, those Bud Ice.
Bud Ice is so gross.
It was
Talk
gross.
about Bud Ice real quick.
Bud Ice was so gross. But like we go to Minden and they'd run in the store and they get Bud Ice, and Bud Ice was strong.
Oh, it's so gross though.
It was so strong and it was gross, and you could drink about 3 of them and just be like, as being like a 16, 17-year-old, you'd just be obliterated, and it would just be Bud Ice. And then there were also these like Lynchburg, like Jack Daniels had like these gross Lynchburg lemonade things that you would drink, and they were just so disgusting. But when you're 16, 17 years old, you don't give a shit what you're drinking. You just drink it. And like you would drink them and then swim around in a pool and pass out. And that's like what we were doing. But it was like I also like the only times I could ever do that was when I went to like my buddy's house a town away, because whenever I came home whenever I came home, and my parents would be in bed, the rule was I had to go in my parents' house and give my mom a kiss.
Yeah.
And she'd be like, I'd be like, give her like good night and give her a kiss, and she'd be like and like smell me.
So you can't.
No, and I smelled like cigarettes. And like, you know, and they never said anything.
You didn't try to get the spray of the cologne or something?
No, none of that.
There
was a funny story too, because like before any of that was going on, and we moved to Louisiana in like 92, 91, 92, and I was like 12, 13 years old. I'd like somebody at school had given me some
You're born in 79 or 80?
79.
Okay.
So February 79, so almost 78.
Yeah.
But like somebody gave me some like one of those little wooden deals, and you put the incense on it and you burn incense. So I'm just like in my room as a kid, not thinking like maybe my parents don't want me burning incense in the house, because I would totally not want my kids burning incense in the room.
Yeah.
Just because I don't want it to smell like that in the house or whatever. And I'm in my room just like burning
I
incense.
like incense, but I mean...
I do too, and I have it now.
I like pot
we burn
too,
it now.
yeah.
But my mom came in my room and she was like, "What is that smell?" And I was like, "Well, I'm burning some incense." She was like, "You can't do that." And then my dad, like my mom and dad came in the room and they were all weirded out, and they were like, "What are you doing in here?" And I was like, "Well, I'm burning incense and playing guitar." And they were like, my mom was like, "Well, you know what incense is for, right?" And I was like, "To make the room smell good."
To cover up marijuana
And
smell?
she was like, "It's to cover up marijuana. Are you smoking marijuana in here?" And I was like, "No, I've never even seen marijuana before. I'm 12.
Yeah.
I'm 30 years. I've never even seen it before." And they just like didn't believe me. They didn't believe me. They thought I was trying to cover up marijuana. I was like, if I wanted to smoke marijuana, I would just like walk outside around to the woods and just smoke there and then come back if I was doing that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't smoke in my room. What am I,
How
an
were you
idiot?
not nervous about smelling like cigarettes though when you'd go out smoking cigarettes? Like I used to know I told you the pine straw story before, but I mean when I got older I would cologne or whatever.
My dad smoked cigars.
Oh, okay.
And he couldn't smell shit.
Oh, he does no. Oh, yeah. I didn't know that.
I secretly found out later that my mom was smoking cigarettes behind everyone's back, so she couldn't smell it either. So she didn't.
She was behind your back and your dad's back.
Yeah.
Because no one knew she smoked.
Yeah, no one knew she smoked. She was smoking.
How often does she smoke?
I don't know.
Does she still smoke?
Idea. No, she doesn't. She probably like a month.
My mom smokes when she goes to casino.
No,
she never smokes.
You can't smoke in the casino anymore over here.
Oh, I guess so. She goes to different. She goes to Oklahoma a lot. Maybe that's where.
But in Shreveport, you can't smoke anymore.
I don't even know if she still smokes. But the last time I went to the casino, she never smokes. But every time I go to the casino with her, she'd be smoking. I'm like, that's such a weird thing. But
well, I mean, like smoking a cigarette's all right. You smoke a cigarette every now and then, like we were talking about.
You could do any. All right, and I might get some flack for this, but you can do anything in moderation.
Right.
Anything. Like if somebody's like,
Except fentanyl.
I think. But look, if somebody was like, if somebody could control it, was like, hey, look, yeah, of course I do. I do a gram of cocaine once a month. That's probably not a problem.
Probably not.
It's really probably not. If somebody's like, oh, yeah, I smoke 3 cigarettes a day, that's probably not a problem.
That's probably not a problem.
But what happens is nobody smokes 3 cigarettes a day and nobody does cocaine once a month,
well,
right?
I smoke probably 3 cigarettes a day.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's like so you're an outlier.
But then I'll go weeks without. It's just like every now and then. It's just like you want to smoke a cigarette, you smoke a cigarette.
Yeah, that's
I don't have an addictive personality, so
I don't either.
I don't get addicted to anything,
which is
except
weird.
alcohol, maybe. But I don't know. But I have gone without drinking alcohol. It's just like I like drinking it.
It's weird that I don't have an addictive personality because I have an obsessive.
The other night I drank no alcohol. The other night, just sitting around, I just didn't. The thing is like I started working out real hard again.
That's gonna get you. You're gonna slowly get rid of.
And I'm also biking every day, and I'm trying to do like miles and miles and miles of biking.
Well, you're not really gonna lose weight till you stop drinking.
I know.
You need to learn how to smoke pot.
No, I don't like it. It doesn't.
You need to learn how to like it.
I know. It also
so much better than
it also affects my job.
Yeah, but so much better than
drug tests.
That's stupid.
It is.
You work
dumb.
from home.
It is dumb.
You shouldn't have to.
Well, no, I do because I drive a truck every now and then. Well, now I'm gonna,
yeah,
start driving again.
But yeah, because you can't really. It's hard. But
it's dumb that you can't be a truck driver and smoke pot. Like if you want to smoke pot on a Saturday, Sunday, and then go to work on Monday.
Of course, you should be able to.
That's ridiculous.
Of course,
I'm drinking alcohol every day.
Of course,
and driving a truck. When I drove a truck, I would plan out my routes to where the best bars were, so I could stop and drink, and then go to bed in my truck and get up and go to work again.
Yeah.
Why isn't marijuana like that, where you could just like
especially
smoke on the weekends?
Marijuana doesn't even give people a hangover. There's no lingering effect.
You got to be a stupid idiot if you want to smoke marijuana and drive a big truck because you've got to have all your senses about you driving.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, you shouldn't be. You can't be high and drive. That's obvious. Like you can't drink and drive. But yeah, they certainly ought to be able to get high on Saturday.
No, yeah, it's so stupid. And I think the problem is there's no test to where it's like, are you high right now? Because they would have to take your blood, I guess.
It's just crazy.
Blood.
Well, I guess you could just get out and fail. If you fail the
sobriety test.
Yeah, if you fail the field sobriety test, you're high. If you're not drunk, but you fail the field sobriety test, you'd have to prove you had some medical condition or that.
Dude, these guys that are owner operator truck drivers, they make all kinds of money. They make tons of money. They're not gonna risk that.
That's what I'm saying. So take the stupid rules off the books. They got it. They have marijuana classed in there with like heroin and coke.
Well, they got mushrooms mixed in with that. It's Schedule 1. So it's like mushrooms. That's so stupid.
All recreational drugs should be legalized. We could get into an argument about
everything should be legalized.
I think everything should be too. I was going to say there can be a discussion there, but you have to at least say all recreational, like psychedelics and marijuana.
There's a study that says
those should all be legal. Like, not even question.
In Colorado, where it's legal, that marijuana usage has gone down.
Probably. Because it takes the danger element out of it.
You take the danger out of it, so it's not as exciting anymore.
Yeah, you're not doing anything wrong.
The thing about mushrooms is like mushrooms really help people. Like they're doing all these studies now where mushrooms help people with PTSD and depression and anxiety.
Well, anybody that's ever
only do it like it's not like you're doing mushrooms like every day.
Anybody that's ever done psychedelics and anybody that's ever stepped through the realm,
the veil.
Anybody that's ever taken LSD, mushrooms to.
Well, I think LSD is kind of hard. I've never done any of that.
LSD is the hardest.
I've never even done mushrooms to where it makes you trip.
But anybody that's ever tripped, they know all the benefits. Like they've seen things that you haven't seen.
I've known people that have done mushrooms and come out the other side a better person.
Everyone. I would almost say everyone.
Super uptight people, people that have tons of anxiety, people that are mean, they come out of the other end like, hey man, it's cool.
Yeah, exactly.
So why is that illegal?
You see a different world. You see how small you are in the world. It's a magical, like, I'm not encouraging anything. I'm just saying my experience is it's a magical journey.
They're using it for people that have problems, and it's fixing problems.
Yeah. It really puts things in perspective when you come out of it. It really puts you see the smallness of you and the giantness.
You know why? Big Pharma.
Big Pharma wants it illegal.
They want you to do their drugs that keep you on the hook your whole life.
And that are terrible for you.
They don't.
These other drugs aren't even the psychedelics and marijuana aren't even anything for you.
It's not even addictive, from what I've read.
It's totally not addictive.
It's not even.
How can
addictive.
a psychedelic be addictive? Like how could mushrooms can't be addictive? There's no addictive, like unless you just got addicted to that spirit realm.
Right.
But
that's anything. That's sugar. Now that's coffee. That's anything.
I guess like
in that spirit realm, but you get addicted to things like coffee. But coffee actually has a drug in it.
Yeah.
Caffeine. But like you get addicted to the feeling. Like marijuana supposedly isn't addictive, but you get addicted to the feeling it gives you.
Of course. And I would say psychedelics, if you take too much too long, the negative benefit you definitely can become a burnout where you're just. But that's like when you think about Sid Barrett from Pink Floyd, like that's what happened to him. He took a trip, never came back. He just took so much acid.
Well, acid's different than psychedelics. Acid's different than like magic mushrooms.
But
acid's made in a lab and it's hardcore.
Yeah, it's way more.
That was developed by the government for troops to be more heightened in the field, right?
Well, that shit works.
It does. I've never done it. I don't know. Like you could hear like a fly buzzing on the window from 15 feet away. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
but Sid Barrett died in a mental institution but
you can't do too much of anything.
I think he did like 100 at one time.
Oh Jesus, you can do too much of anything, and that's way too much.
I think, and
you can take. I can't have 2 cups of coffee a day, or I'm nuts.
Right. So you think so? I mean,
I'm a lightweight.
I can't imagine the trip you would get on one tab of acid, and then somebody going and coming out of that experience and going, I need to take 10 of those. Like you'd have to be a lunatic.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Like. You'd have to be already.
Well, there's all these people that are like in high places, like CEOs and stuff, microdosing mushrooms because it makes them think better.
It does. It gives them more perspective. It gives them more 30,000-foot view.
Your brain links up, and there's another thing where people say that when they do ayahuasca, which is like ayahuasca, like
what is that?
South America.
Is that a mushroom?
DMT.
Oh, DMT.
Dimethyltryptamine.
I want to take a DMT trip so bad.
I do too, but you can't do it here in the States. We got to go down to South America. But
why can't you do it here in the States?
It's illegal. Dimethyltryptamine is illegal. DMT.
Well, I know, but there's people
super illegal.
But you can get it, huh?
I'm sure you can get it.
Well, I mean, if you're going to take a DMT trip,
if I'm going to take a DMT trip, I'm going down to South America.
I don't know if you could handle a trip and be in a different country. That would weird.
They have a whole thing where you go. I watched this thing where you go down to South America. They've got resorts where you go down and you go to a resort and they have like all these shamans and people that know everything, and you go in and it's like $5,000 for like a couple of days.
Yeah.
And like they put you in a room with pillows and all this stuff, and you do it and you lay down and you have like this amazing epiphanies, and you come out of it so much better, and it's all controlled. And they'll even come up to you after you do it the first time. Some of them will be like, you don't need to do it tonight. You wait. We need to talk about it, and then maybe tomorrow we'll give you a dose that we think you should have.
Yeah.
Because it's so like potent.
Yeah, DMT sounds.
So
I want to experience whatever DMT is. I want to experience it.
There's a place to go where it's controlled, and it's not just like out of control. Like do it again in your basement. You know what I mean? You don't know how much to do.
I'd like to do it in my basement with like
they even
one or two people I really trusted.
They go, how much do you weigh? This, that, and the other. Have you ever done any psychedelics before? Okay, you need to do this much tonight, and that's it. And then the next day they go, okay, well you can do more, or you're going to wait a day.
Yeah.
They super control it. But people are doing that and getting over depression. They're getting over anxieties. They're getting over PTSD.
Oh,
A lot of soldiers that come back, they're all doing it, and it's curing them. And pharmaceutical companies do not like that.
No,
It's super illegal here. So it's just like a thing that
DMT carry a bigger sentence than mushrooms, or no?
I don't know if what's that?
Does it carry a larger sentence than mushrooms? You said mushrooms was 10-year minimum in Louisiana.
I think it's all same thing. Was it Schedule 1?
All psychedelics fall under Schedule 1?
I just know that in Louisiana, if you get caught with a mushroom, it's 10 years.
I don't see how that.
I even looked it up. Like I looked it up because I'm like,
Does that ever get
I
enforced?
watched all this stuff. I watched all of It seems like now everybody's talking about mushrooms. Everybody's talking about DMT.
They're the new thing.
It's the new thing. Because it is helping people. So like obviously,
But it was helping people 60 years ago, and people just suppressed the noise about it.
Same thing with marijuana when they suppressed it, because why? They did pharmaceutical companies, and they didn't want to change over all of the paper machines from trees to hemp because it would cost them too much money.
Right.
So like all of that got blacklisted because it's everybody.
It was going to cost the paper companies a bunch.
It's the same thing with well, I don't think it's the same thing because there's so many different factors about using petroleum or using battery powered cars. Because
Why not both?
Battery powered cars.
Why not both? Why am I the only person saying this?
Why not both?
Why not both? Let's work for electric and use the gas cars we have. Let's build a 20-year plan, but at all times you can always have gas cars if you want them. There'll always be gas pumps available. We'll slowly transition to electric. Why is that hard?
Because the people that own all the gas pumping places and the oil places, they want their money forever.
Well, I'm sorry.
And guess what? The earth.
They would get their money forever. It's a free market.
Inside the earth is so much. There's so much oil in the earth.
Endless.
It's endless.
Yeah.
They act like it's not.
It's endless.
It's totally endless. It's endless.
Yeah.
You know how big the earth is inside? When you look at a ball, the outside of the ball is the less space
Of everything.
Yeah. Inside the earth is more than anything.
Yeah.
The outside of the ball is less. There's so much of that stuff inside the earth. It would be, and we already, the oil companies we already use so much of it. Look at everybody on the planet that uses gas and diesel and everything, and all these industries with diesel and everything. It's so much already. If it was running out, they would be pushing for us to have electric everything, and they're not.
Yeah, that's what. But I'm saying everybody's like it's like either or is the argument, which is a dumb argument. Why not both?
Why not both? Well, we're getting there. I think we're getting to both.
We're gonna have. Well, yeah, but the old people are trying to act. The old people are all saying they're saying everything about anti-electric, acting like it's the worst thing ever. The electric people are acting like the oil and gas is the worst thing ever.
When you get older, you don't like change.
I know. I'm gonna fight hard against that. I do that.
I fight hard against that too.
I do that with music. Like I refused. I said always. I'm like I'm not gonna be like
the guy that's like I only like the music I grew up with.
Like Black Sabbath's still my favorite band, but I still listen to all kinds of new bands and I find new shit and I like hip hop and I like pop because I want to hear different things. I don't want to just here's the 10 bands I like.
Right.
Here's the gas car I like. Nothing can change.
Dude, I would totally love to have a motorcycle that was battery powered. That would be kick ass.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
And Harley makes one.
Do they?
Yeah.
How much is it more?
It's too expensive.
What do they say? But what about the batteries that are like $30,000? Any validity that like you got to pay a $30,000 replacement fee on a battery, right, for a Tesla?
Yes. And the other thing is
they got to fix that. That's like unsustainable.
We're still mining. We're still mining things for batteries. We're still plugging into a wall where down the road there's either a coal burning plant.
Well, yeah. I mean that's
you can argue over.
There's always that. There's always that argument. But look, you got it. The simple rebut to that is you have to always. You've got to use it until you can get to a spot where everything's electric. Clearly, they have to use some gas-powered things now. Like it's common sense that they would have to use them. It's not some big gotcha.
Well, I saw where they're rolling out the electric semi trucks, and Pepsi's going to use them or whatever.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: we haul 130,000-pound rolls from places to other places. We haul 130,000-pound pieces of machinery, and you can't have You can't have a battery do that. It would run out in 10 minutes. You gotta have diesel.
Do you know that for sure?
Yeah. It would take so much. The battery. It's like the battery would have to be so large to get you anywhere.
But don't you think it's going to be, and they've thought of that? Like, you can't be the only one who just thought of that.
See. There's no way you can do heavy batteries.
How much Pepsi you think they're hauling? It's not like 50 pounds worth of Pepsi.
They haven't told us yet.
Well, I mean, they're not going to load a truck with 2,000 pounds. That would be a waste of a day.
A full load in a truck legally with truck, gross vehicle weight, and trailer plus the load before you have to get anything that's over weight is 80,000 pounds. How long can a battery take you? 80,000 pounds gross vehicle weight.
I don't know. I just don't know.
That's a lot. That's a lot of weight.
I know, but I don't think that. I think they've thought of that. That's what I'm saying.
I don't think they can have. I don't think there's a battery alive that would get you 100 miles.
So they're gonna have to stop every 50 miles and change batteries?
If not doing that, you have to charge up.
Damn. Oh, how these allergies
This is gonna be like a 5-minute reel.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, you just got some good clips.
I do all that work.
I'm sorry about this, guys. Maybe next time I'll be better.
So, yeah, you're struggling over there.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, like, it just seems. I don't know anything about the battery technology, but it just seems really hard to push 80,000 pounds for more than 100 miles with a battery.
Well, I'm thinking they've thought of something, so we'll look into it and see what happens.
I don't know. Hey, I would totally love having like battery operated vehicles and autonomous vehicles, trucks that went from A to B, and you just had a guy sitting in there that wasn't driving. And
he's just there in case something happens.
And then he gets there, and then he unchains it and chains it back up, and then goes and sits back down and just lets the thing fucking drive itself. That would be great.
Yeah, we're about to be there.
Yeah, I think we're about to be there in 30 years.
15?
15? You think half of that? 15 years? You think everything's going to be automated enough? Now, look, the other thing about
But you still have to pay a driver.
Yeah, of course, because they're going to, a technician now.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to drive. They're going to
chain and
unchain because there's nothing that can chain and unchain what we do.
Yeah.
But if you want to talk about, have you ever watched Logan? The Wolverine movie, and they're on the road, and it's like automated vehicles, and they're just containers. Yeah, totally. Containers can be just loaded, automated, and go without trucks and be completely on the interstate with a container, because containers are just contained inside. There's nothing to chain down. Everything's just pushed in a container and it goes. And that was what was going on in Logan, where they're on the interstate.
That would be cool.
And it's just containers that nobody is manning, and it's just driving itself, and the container goes to its destination on its own.
Wow.
But but there's freight that can't be done like that yet.
Right. Everything takes time. But I think we'll be there faster than 30. Technology's moving so fast right now.
You think
Dude, it's moving so. Look how fast it's moved since like 2010.
Do you think that let me tell you this. Give me a year. Give me a time frame on this. Me and you want to go to Walmart right now, and we go get in the car, and we just say, "Car, go to Walmart." And me and you are just talking and doing our thing, looking on our phones, whatever, and the car takes us to Walmart. Okay. How far are we away from that?
Well, Tesla has it now, right?
No, I don't think like that.
Sort of, though. They could.
I don't think they have it to where it would back out your driveway.
I'd say we're 15 years from that as well.
To where it can.
So let's say 2040, 2040.
Here's the other thing. What if the guy that's talking in the new the thing where he says you'll own nothing in the future and you'll be happy about it? So like me and you want to go to Walmart, and on our phone we go, we want to go to Walmart. We don't own a vehicle, and a vehicle shows up outside that's automated. We get it, and it takes us to Walmart.
Yeah, no one owns a vehicle.
How long is that?
40 years.
40 years?
Yeah, to where vehicles would just be something like collectors, things people have and sometimes drive, but not really a daily.
But you don't have to have one. It's like a bus, and you just like kind of Uber.
I say 40 years.
You kind of Uber, an automated Uber to your house, and it takes you, and you don't have to have any vehicles if you're not doing any kind of business or nothing.
35, 40 years in our lifetime.
in our lifetime.
We'll be old.
We'll be old. Which will be perfect for us because we'll be old.
We'll be bitching about it.
And we'll be, no. If we're old, we'll be like, that's great. Because like, I got to go to CVS or I got to go to Walgreens. I'm going to Walgreens. And the thing shows up and you get in, it takes you to Walgreens.
I think by then we'll be so old that we'll be saying stuff like, you kids don't want to do shit anymore.
We used to drive vehicles.
Mike, you remember I'd have to get in my truck and move it so you can go to the liquor store.
Go to the liquor store. Yeah. Now that this thing just makes liquor right in your house.
These kids don't even know how to drive, and then the kids that are like 10 would be like, "What's driving?"
What's driving? Because they just takes them to school.
Well, it'd be like with
they just school at home.
Like when cars took over the horse and buggy. People with horse and buggies were laughing at the cars, being like, "These people think one day this is going to be a car, what they need."
Everybody's always said that. Remember, people said that the internet was a phase. And it was like, that's just for geeks.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever going to really learn how to use this shit. It's stupid.
Yeah, exactly. Same thing. It is crazy to think about people that laughed about the car. They just thought it was. That's too silly to because they were thinking, I'm so sure. Like if I need to go through the woods to get to the store, how the fuck is a car going
to make it?
Yeah. Duh, these people.
My horse is going to make
these fucking liberals hadn't thought of shit. Libtards. You could hear them in 1889.
Oh, I could totally hear them. Yeah. That's great. All right, let's end it.
All right, yeah, I gotta go home, take some Benadryl.
Go get better, Ray. Go get better.
See y'all later.
Everybody's pulling for you.
All right. Thanks. I'm gonna be fine.
All right.
I'm gonna make it. Bye. You know.